Several lifetimes.
Welcome. My name's Sarah Tiffany, and this is episode 1 in a series of 12 called Several Lifetimes. And I'm super excited today to have Tenile and Ryan here with me. And we're going to get into it. I think that that's the best way to just get going. For most of you that are watching, I've been talking about this podcast forever. And there's been iterations of it. And I know people are like, she's crazy. And part of me is. But all of what I've been through the last decade has literally led to this moment, including sitting here with these ladies. And episode 1 is actually the end, but the beginning of this new lifetime. And so Several Lifetimes is kind of a bio, but it's really 4 parts of my life that are completely different. And I think that I'm not the only person who's lived several lifetimes. I think we all have, right?
Yes.
And so this episode is probably our most tame, I will say. This is like mom mode. And we'll get into what you can expect from this series. But long story short, basically, is there's 4 parts. And so there was the time that I was a party promoter, Icons Entertainment. And then there's the time I had a baby, Olivia. Then the time I got cancer. There's the time I got hella degrees. And then throw in a marriage, another baby, a divorce, a few careers, 2 more episodes of cancer. And we're here now. And so that literally has been several lifetimes. And I'm excited to talk about both of your several lifetimes as well. And so I want to introduce Tenile, and I'll give it to you.
Yeah, so my name is Tenile Zayas. I am first and foremost a wife, mom, recently became a published author. I'm super excited about that. Speaker. And really my heart is in the work that I do with women. And on top of that, I have also been equally blessed in my professional life working for an amazing company, which has been instrumental in how we met, 510 Media, with a group of awesome individuals who have just furthered my own journey. And I am just truly blessed to be here. I'm so glad that we met, and I'm able to be here as you are launching out in this portion of this lifetime to do some amazing things.
And fun fact, so Tenile and I, we take a class. Her bosses have this amazing 510 Hope class, and it's an entrepreneurial, but it's also life skills. I mean, it's just so rich. We'll talk about that later as well. But fun fact is that I felt like her and I had not a bromance, but the female version of that, right?
Right.
And there was just this energy. So we arranged lunch, and come to find out, it's like 30 other things that we have in common, like even biracial, her having very similar cancer that I have, and recovering, having a few relationships, and finding love after, because I'm not there yet. And so that was just the icing on the cake. And I was blown away, but also not, because again, this is how it works, right?
It sure is.
And so leading to Ryan and Nicole, we've been in the same circle, but never have ever sat, talked until maybe 6 weeks ago.
Right. Crazy.
And and the way it just lined up is so perfect. So Ryan.
Well, first, let me just congratulate you on getting started with this podcast. I know it's an undertaking, and I just celebrate you, in your journey. I celebrate you and what you're doing as well. I think we align in the fact that we all do many things, wear many hats, and wear them well. I am also a mother and a wife. I'm also affectionately known as the 4A, the artist, actress, athlete, activist. And that was just the best way for me to encapsulate, I think, the motivations behind my multifaceted career and presentation. I'm an Oakland girl,
Yep.
born and raised. I'm really proud about that. I'm 10 toes down and several boots in the ground. And I'm committed to being here, have been committed to raising my family here, come hell or high water. Yeah. And I can't wait to talk more about like our connections and the ways that, we're coming together to talk about our many lifetimes.
Yep. And I think it's in your bio or where you say you're multi-hyphenated.
Yeah.
So I'm going to steal that. I think I did actually. I think it's on LinkedIn now.
There you go.
I'll give you a credit.
I borrowed that.
I did, definitely. Because that is, I mean, even right now, legally, my name is Sarah Tiffany Richardson Baker.
Come
like
on,
that's
hyphens.
already a mouthful, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, why not just be that mouthful?
Yeah.
But this is really exciting.
Yeah.
And I think I touched on it before, probably one of the most tame episodes. And so we are going to tailor it, the conversation a lot to why I feel like this would be the first episode. But we'll get into some of what you can expect on this journey. I don't want to give it away, but there might be like breast milk with Too Short.
Let's go.
Like falling downstairs.
That's how you're starting. That's how we're starting.
Exactly. Falling downstairs, but like keeping my drinks in my hand. That's, all there.
Acrobat.
Going to, and I won't say, but a very, very high elected officials party, and there's like strippers in the pool and all of that. So there's going to be a lot of stories.
Yeah. Okay.
And parenting and some real serious shit too. But I've always been one of those people that like can laugh and joke through anything. One of the episodes, actually, my cousin is going to come on, and people were so disgusted with us in our family. We are burying our grandmother, and we're at the funeral home. And this is only like maybe 4 years ago. So I'm a grown ass woman, and he's a grown ass man. And both of our moms are there. And for whatever reason, we start getting like the giggles. And we were hysterically laughing while our moms are talking about burying their grandma or their mom. And it was just like us when we were kids. And I've always been kind of that person. Like, I feel like once I joke about it, I'm healed from it. Like once I can start joking about it, then it's better. So you'll see a lot of that in these episodes.
Good.
Yeah. And hopefully you guys laugh. Hopefully.
We all have our process.
We do.
We do. Everybody don't cry.
Yep.
Absolutely. And they do say laughter is medicine for the soul.
Yeah.
So
It is.
I love to laugh.
Yeah.
And I think I'm funny as fuck. Most people might not think I'm not funny, but I do.
But you get a kick out of yourself?
Yes.
All right.
That's all that
Well,
counts.
that's funny.
I'm gonna rewatch these episodes like, God, she's hilarious.
That girl, get her a contract.
Get her a show.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited. I definitely am going to refer to notes so that I,
Do
my
your thing.
ADD is kept. Okay, so one of the things that I think, a handful of people who will be watching these, I'm known for like telling a good tale. I get it from my Uncle Rick, Sicilian man who he had a story for everything. And some of those stories ended up being true. And like when we grew up,
That's
we were
funny.
like, he really did that. Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of stories that have been, told or that I have that I think at this point, I'm not even sure what the truth is, that the story has, evolved so much. But we talked about this.
Give me one.
Well, I think let's remember I'm gonna kick it to you.
Oh, am I gonna
Because I gotta see what level of story we're telling.
Just got to know what to pull out of the bag.
You guys
Goodness.
no. So let me tell. So we were rehearsing, and I'm like, oh, I think I'm gonna tell this story. 3 minutes in, they were like,
Yeah, I think we.
and then I
lost
said,
color.
oh no, I think this one's a little too serious. Yeah, well, maybe not yet.
Okay.
So kicking off the crazy. That's going to be a theme throughout these episodes. And I want to hear if you have, and levels of crazy, it's different.
Sure.
But like, what is,
Oh man.
one crazy life story, and it doesn't have to be like me, on a plane with 400 kilos of coke, and I don't, it doesn't have to be that.
Yeah. It's like not Cocaine Bear.
No,
story?
it does not have to be that, but it can be if you want.
I don't have any.
I still know the guy.
A cocaine cougar.
Mm-hmm.
No, let's see. I mean, okay. We've all dated somebody.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Wild, and wild is and crazy is subjective.
It is.
Right?
Okay, so I
right.
already know my story.
So let me just say, have any of you ever crawled on the floor, hiding from somebody that you were in a relationship with?
Have to say no.
No, never.
No, but I think
not on your bingo card. Okay.
I think that I have probably been the one
that somebody said to hide.
100%. Oh yeah. And there are people out there that are like, yes,
yep. I'm hiding right now.
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay. So
too soon. Too soon.
Sorry.
Okay.
No, what? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So younger woman dating. I was in a monogamous relationship. We apparently were taking a break. At least that's what I thought. I go out with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the party and I'm like dancing, having a great time, drinking, reveling. I look out in the crowd and I swear I see the guy that I was on a break with like dart through the crowd. Stop. I'm like, no, I'm bugging. Dancing, getting it, whatever, getting it in. Again, look up. Swear I see him at the bar. And I'm like, wow, like I'm not that dickmatized where I see this person.
Wait a minute.
Oh, write them down.
Dickmatized.
I didn't make this one up. I don't know
like
who can I credit. But I'm like, I can't be. So the guy I'm with is like, you all right? And I'm like, I'm fine. I was like, but we should bounce. We should go. So head on home. He's trying to come in. I'm like, no, something in my gut's telling me, So I get home, he drops me off, we do a long goodbye. I get in the house and I'm like taking off my clothes and I hear, do. I know you're in there. And I'm like, yo, it's the guy I'm supposed to be monogamous with, but we're supposed to be on a break. Right. Do. Now, I regard myself a strong, independent Black woman. Of course. Right? Mm-hmm. As soon as I hear that police knock, I like hit the floor. I hit the lights and I hit the floor. I know you're in there, Ryan. I know you're in there. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, so I'm like checking my phone. I'm trying to peek out the window. Every window that I think I'm peeking out where he's not, he's like right there in the shadow.
I'm here. I hope he's listening to this.
He knows who he is.
Okay, exactly.
So I like prisoner crawl up to the living room.
Yeah.
I go peek out. Sure enough, it's the guy who I'm dating. I'm like, what the hell? He's like, I know you were with so-and-so. I won't say any names. Yep. Mm-hmm. And I know you were at such and such a place. And I had people in there looking for you and whoop-de-whoop-whoop-whoop.
That's some Oakland shit, though.
Whoop-de-whoop-whoop-whoop. Mm-hmm. Long story short, I end up falling asleep on the floor. That's how long I was hiding from this man.
Yeah.
My neighbor, I guess, and I was drunk, but my neighbor must have called somebody and scared him away. Thank the good Lord. A week after that, I decided we can't be together. No, like if you're chasing me through the club and I'm feeling like I'm seeing you and all of that, I didn't stop having sightings of him. And I do believe it was hallucinations. Right. Like I don't actually think he was there. He actually swore up and down he wasn't there.
But he could have been.
The trauma was real. Yeah. That one night. Just
exactly.
How old were you?
I was 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See, 25. Ryan, that's a good, even just hearing you were drunk makes me feel good.
Oh, Ryan was drunk.
Because she's like, what, would you, the 4 A's, the 5 A's?
4. I do have athlete in there, but I was.
And her body's like an athlete.
Well, thank you, honey. So that's probably crazy on a scale of what? 4? Yeah. The fact that I fell asleep on the floor really, I was like, Ryan, wow, this is where we are in our life.
Yeah. The army crawl took it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it was real. I really army crawled and I was like, this is where I'm at.
I believe you.
In my life.
Yeah.
In East Oakland, crawling on the floor of my apartment. Yeah. Hiding from my boyfriend.
I mean, she has the most amazing husband now, too.
I do.
Mike Flossin. Why do I always want to call him that? Is that his Instagram?
That's his Insta.
Mike Flossin.
Flossin, Mike Austin. Yep. It wasn't him.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like, disclaimer.
Yeah.
It wasn't him.
It wasn't Mike. No.
All right. I'm sweating too.
Okay.
So I had a fan, but they said they could hear it. So,
boo.
All right, I have a good story, and he knows who he is. We're gonna B Jizzle. You know, he's still one of my good friends. Okay, so everybody knows my story that, well, not everybody, that I have a daughter who's almost 17, Olivia, and we call her the Icons baby. Mm-hmm. So that's from the first era, is when I was a party promoter in Icons Entertainment. Yes. And then towards the end of that era, I got pregnant. And so obviously I tried too. I was in the club pregnant a few times. And then I was like, this is not cute.
This is so not
and
cute.
Also, they don't like me anymore. Like this S-Dot, you guys are going to hear about S-Dot.
Spaghetti straps aren't holding up anymore, right?
No. So I move home. Her dad and I broke up. I move home for like 8 months, which horrible. There's an episode about that.
Good times.
And then I got to get back to the Bay. So my whole plan was, how do I get back to the Bay? So I get back to the Bay, I'm going to go to college. Literally, going to college was the byproduct of getting back to the Bay. So get back to the Bay, and I start dating, and now I have, a young daughter. I'm in college. I get into politics. That's another, they kind of overlap. Yeah. And so this was my first time getting a big girl job. And in fact, I'm going on Sunday. Shout out to the Oakland United Democratic Campaign. Ooh. So I was like the OG OUDC. So basically it's a campaign office that is all the candidates in Oakland that are endorsed by the Democratic Party. Okay. And this is 2011 going into the 12 cycle. So we're trying to reelect Barack Obama, like the whole thing. So they hired me, like, shout out Kathy Neal, Michael Colbruno, Melanie Griffith. They like took a chance on me, right? I'm not from Oakland. And it's my first big girl job. So I go to the club that night in Oakland. I think it was Air Lounge.
Oh, the Air Lounge. Yeah.
And I'm just throwing them back, and I'm telling everybody in the club, like, I got a job. And I think I was getting paid $4,000 a month.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. So I meet BG. So standing against the wall is he's 6'7", weighs 336 pounds. He has on a baby skin tight sweater.
Hey,
instantly. BG, so he knows. So I stumble up to him. The way he tells it, I like throw up on his shoes. Wow. Then I'm like, take me home. And he's like, so I'm not going to do that because I think that's against the law. Wake up the next morning. My girlfriend was like, we got his number. I'm like, yes. So BG and I start kicking it. BG is from the streets, like from Oakland. Like he's a real one. So fast forward, him and I are kicking it. I'm on my way to my first Democratic National Convention in SAC.
Okay.
And B hits me up and he's like, hey, so can I pay your rent this month? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, okay, because I'm going to store a few things at your house. And I was like, cool. You want the key right now? I was learning. I've never been a good gold digger. So I'm like, sure. So go the whole weekend to this Democratic National Convention. Feeling real grown up. I got my shit together.
Got a suit on.
Exactly. Come back, pick up my baby, and head home. Had a tiny ass apartment in Castro Valley. So kids too. We get in the house. Olivia, first thing she does is like, they're like looking, right? Yeah. And all of a sudden she goes upstairs and she says, Mommy, what is this?
Oh boy.
So I go upstairs, I go in my room, and it's a full blown setup, like desk, chair, big machine. And I'm like, what? This fool set up a whole credit card swiper. Fraud.
Oh my God.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
There were, he had all the cards, the blank credit cards, and it was organized as shit. He had like a ergonomic chair for him.
Like gonna work.
Not the ergonomic chair.
And it had a matching desk. He's like, it matches your aesthetic.
Serious. Yeah. 9 to 5.
So I hit B and I'm like, what are we doing? And he was like, is this too much? Yes, this even for me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is too much. Long story short, he came and picked it up, and he knows who it is. He is still one of my great friends now. I think he's like 99% legal at this point. So, we all had to do what we had to do.
Right. So
that's a good one.
That's a good one. Doesn't necessarily.
And even Olivia remembers this.
Does she?
It wasn't until later she asked, like, what was that?
It's a computer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a prototype. Whatever.
Yep.
Jeez.
So Tenile already gave us like a really educated and classy answer when we were going through
Very
it.
on brand. Very community.
But I plan to bring these ladies back maybe episode 6. She's gonna have to have another story.
Yeah.
Or we have to go do something crazy.
Right. Maybe.
There we go.
Maybe.
Between
I
now
got
and
someone we can
episode
pull
6.
up on right now.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe.
Hide in
Let's
the
give
bush.
ourselves some time here. Yeah. I just really could not think of like one. And maybe I'm just a square. I don't know. But
I think you got a little triangle in there.
yeah, I mean, while I was sitting here, I'm like, well, I guess one of the things that would maybe seem a little crazy is, I've just grown so much as a person. I used to fight. I used to like,
Oh,
I used to scrap. Like I used to,
That is.
yeah,
Let's
like
hear one.
I
Let's
used
hear
to, man, I grew up in a neighborhood that was predominantly white,
Okay.
black dad, white mom.
Yep.
Always had a struggle with my sisters and the white girls because I was not white enough for the white girls and definitely not dark skinned enough for the sisters that I came across. And for some reason, y'all give us light skin, red bones, whatever y'all want to call us. Give us a break, please.
It's
because
not
for
our fault.
some reason, it's like, at least my experience has been, you come into a space and automatically they think that you think you're better than everybody in the room.
I was thinking
and
about that this
I'm
morning.
like,
It's
no,
not true.
sis, I'm just trying to
here.
connect. I want friends, right? But long story short is there were many times where I just got tired of it. And I was not
You had to
a talker. I was a walker. So it was like,
right.
you can say what you want to say.
Yeah.
But if you come within arm's reach,
Come on.
I'm going to make sure you never forget the name Tenile Nicole.
This is
Not
giving me
never,
chills.
right?
That's who I want.
And
Thug Life. You got Thug Life tatted right here. Don't you?
man, like there was definitely that phase in my life.
Wow.
And I realized that,
Here comes
that
the
was
classy
me.
part.
That was me. That was me.
you.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with it because that version of me got me to the version that I am now. And I am good with it. But I used to be like, look at me the wrong way and I'm going to take off on you.
Yeah.
Until one day, my best friend, Shabisha, shout out to her.
Oh, she's
Shabisha.
amazing.
Her dad, who is now a very accomplished therapist, says to me, baby, why are you fighting so much? Why are you always fighting? Because Tenile's getting suspended over here for fighting in school. And then we got a little older fighting over here. And I said, you know what? I don't really know, other than I don't have a tolerance for people messing with me. And what I realize now was my way of advocating for me. Now, yes, it was with my fist. And I'm thankful that I've learned a different way to do that.
Yeah.
But thinking about that was pretty crazy because people who knew me as that version of myself and they see me now, they're like,
Yeah.
what?
How'd you get here? Yeah.
Yes.
Let me
it's
see your
called
knuckles.
evolution,
Let me see
baby.
them knuckles.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's, I mean,
You don't
you don't
No.
nails and all. Like,
oh yeah,
catch me at the wrong time. No, I'm just like,
we got
she's still in there.
Yeah.
She is. This is so great. This is perfect.
I love it.
So they're telling me that I should remind everybody that this is Several Lifetimes podcast.
Yes.
I'm Sarah Tiffany. I'm here with Tenile and Ryan. We're on episode 1, which is really the end of the beginning, and I'm really glad that you've made it this far.
Yeah.
And you're still here with us. So we just ended kicking off with Crazy. I love both of those are good.
Thank you.
Both of those are good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it. I'm
gonna start scoring these.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's go back to multi-hyphenated for all of us.
Okay.
All jokes, well, one thing, I love that both of them said long story short. So this episode is actually long story short.
Oh, look at
Nice.
Because when someone says that, it's not short.
It's not short. It's
Right.
not gonna be short.
And I feel like that it is one of my catchphrases is long story short, and then you go into like 80 others. So I love that you both say that. I do want to talk about, and this is, it's an election year and it's pretty crazy. I want to talk about like some pop culture, a little bit of politics.
Okay.
I want to talk about let's just talk about politics in Oakland right now for a hot second.
Hot second. We could do the whole podcast on this.
We could.
Yeah.
And we, actually, when I reached out to Ryannicole, I was fired up. I was ready to start going live at City Hall.
You were.
I mean, it's public record. If you Google this time in 2024 and put Oakland mayor, it's a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we reeled it in.
Mm-hmm.
We met. We filmed a podcast or an episode that I didn't save. That was a whole thing. But
we had a great conversation.
We did, and I realized like you're my person. But let's talk really quickly about Oakland politics. Yeah, it's what's your take right now with the landscape and you said what, you're 10 toes down?
10 toes down. I think Oakland politics are cumulative. I think where we are now is indicative of where we were 10 years ago, 10 years prior to that, so on and so forth. I was in a conversation with one of our neighbors in an HOA email, and he was like, we need to bring Jerry Brown back. We need a strong mayor. And I am in agreement that we need a strong mayor, but I also want people to recognize that we are living Jerry Brown's reality right now.
That's
right. Like that 10K plan was intended to build all of these housing, these structures that were for people who make $100,000 plus, while neglecting the folks who, weren't able to afford those kinds of rents. Also, while not concurrently building affordable housing. And so you've got buildings up the wazoo that are sitting at 30% capacity, 30% full, and you've got 7,000 plus unhoused residents on the streets of Oakland. And that is something that was in Jerry Brown wasn't like, yes, we'll have 7,000, unhoused people, but he definitely didn't set up a plan for housing folks who are the working class, which is the bread and butter of this city. Yeah.
And that's like a polite way of that. I mean, that's polite, right?
Okay.
Because it's a shit
it's
show
some bullshit.
Right now. It is.
She said it's some bull.
It is. And I mean, I think you live in Dublin.
Yeah.
But that even says something, right? Like we have to move. Most of us have to move out to even be able to afford the lifestyle that we want, right?
And you're going to pay for it, though.
And exactly.
You're
going to pay for it.
Right.
The other day, I actually was making my mortgage payment, and my daughter walks in, and she's like, "Hey, Mom," so nonchalant too. "Hey, Mom, there's another car on fire at the end of the street." And I live in the good area, right? And my mortgage is
too high for that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that without, really getting into politics, I think that the housing is our number one issue. I mean, we can go through, ineffective leadership, or most people don't realize that where we are today has been a decade coming or more, right? And that Oakland is one of the hardest places, I would say, to govern with the income disparity gap. We have extremely wealthy people in Oakland.
Yes, we do.
And we have some of the poorest people living in not good conditions. And we're it's separated by 3 or 4 streets. Right. So it's a hard job.
And separated by 1 or 2 people.
Oh, yeah.
There's no such thing as 6 degrees of separation in this town. Maybe 3, right? And so you may be the wealthiest person, but you're going to have to interface with somebody who is impoverished 100%. On your daily walk. You know what I mean? On your trip to your grocery store or to the post office or whatever, you could be making multi-millions of dollars and still have to encounter somebody who, is living out of their car and is the working poor.
Yeah. I mean, I don't live in Oakland, but I would like to offer a little outsider's perspective.
Please.
I think
I love those.
One of the things that I see is really lacking here is a self-accountability, right? A lot of people that I talk to, this has just become their norm. They accept that there's trash all over the streets. The homeless are building encampments, pushing people out of the community, but nobody's willing to say, change is going to start with us, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're the rich person or the person that is struggling to make ends meet, this is your community.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that is really lacking is that self-accountability factor, because everybody's looking for the mayor to fix it, the police to fix it. If they don't fix it, defund them. You know, everybody's looking for the answer to come and just land on their lap, right?
Yeah.
I'm not blanket statement.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to make a blanket statement because there are people who are really advocating, like, you know, Ryan said, I'm 10 toes down. Like she could pick up tomorrow if she wanted to and move her family, right? And be totally justified.
Yeah.
But there's something amazing about Oakland. And there is a pulse that runs through Oakland and its residents that is like no other. And I think what is happening is that it's just getting captured in their little silo of life, right? And nobody's saying, like what you're doing here, you're bringing three of us together who have had different lifetimes, different experiences, but we're coming together in support of what you're doing, right? And also in collaboration, you know, and I think that's what's missing. You know, everybody, you see the trash on the street, it's like, oh, there's some more trash. One of the things that I absolutely love about 510 Media is they hold you accountable.
We're going to send for all this press that we're going to send an invoice.
Little bill one time.
Or just, you know, give me some game. Give me some game.
You know, it's a part of my evolution, right?
Real.
Because we just recently moved into a new building. Yeah. And one of the first things they told the entire team, I don't care if you are management down to the newbie, right? Is this is now our block.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's trash. We're in the fruit district. There's stuff all over the street. Yeah. And I took pride. I don't even live in Oakland. I'm not a resident of Oakland. I'm still navigating the streets. Like, where am I? Right? I know how to get to my office. Maybe a lunch spot. But, you know, the fact that they were like, this is our block now.
Right.
It's real.
Right.
If you see trash from the corner, like to our door, that's your responsibility.
Yeah.
We literally bought garbage pickers, bags, and as soon as you walk in our doors, they're hanging on the wall. And I myself have personally gone out there and picked up trash. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. First time I did it, I was like, this ain't my damn city. I don't, you know. But this is my team. Yeah. And so it has to start with self-accountability.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, that's why I love efforts like 510 Media, efforts like CRC.
One more invoice.
I'm sorry. CRC, the Community Ready Corps.
Yes.
There is a group of volunteers who go around mostly West Oakland and do major trash pickups. You know, there are folks who dump in spaces that they feel are blighted because they feel like folks are going to neglect it. And you see the big red and black truck roll through and a cadre of volunteers jump out and, you know, labor up and throw stuff in the garbage. Same thing, you know, East Oakland Collective. There's you know, quite a few active organizations, but also active groups of volunteers who are definitely on that hype that you're talking about. So I appreciate those efforts as well.
Have you guys heard of the people who go and fix potholes themselves?
Yeah.
I want to meet them.
Yeah.
So apparently there's a real group of Oaklanders, because everybody knows the potholes in Oakland.
Insane.
They're great. Yeah.
So there is a group of people, and they're anonymous, but you can donate to them. And in the middle of the night, they stealth, because it's against the law.
Against the law, right.
And fix our potholes.
Right.
Look, if you're watching, we got you. I'll do a GoFundMe for you.
Right.
Like that's amazing. That's that is the kind
That's
of
the stuff you're talking about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And not waiting for someone. Okay. So that's funny because we were going on, I was trying to lead us one way and then I forgot where I was leading us. And so then I looked at my notes and we talked about that, which was
perfect.
Amazing.
We did it.
But now I remember where we were going.
Oh, where are we going?
Which is, both of you right now have some super amazing things happening. So I'm gonna kick it to Tenile for a minute. Do you have
my bag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I see? There's a book in there.
Sure.
We're sitting with a published author. And we are going to have her sign these, and I will eBay mine in 10 years if I need to.
Right.
Hey, let's dream big.
This is fresh off the press.
Fresh off the press.
Is that what they say? Okay.
Yes. I don't even have my copy yet.
Really?
I got mine.
Yes.
Boom.
I'm competitive in
You're
that way.
the one, sis.
That's right.
That's it. I like it.
So
say more.
Talk us through this.
Yeah.
And I will really quick. Tenile has come into my life at like the very right time. even like yesterday, I was sending her a text. It was probably pretty crazy. And she's like, work the book, girl.
Yeah.
You have the book.
Yeah.
And so
it's workable. It's a workbook.
Yes.
Yeah.
So talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is basically a 2.5 year long journey of really excavating some of my own life experiences and really pulling out the things that worked to help me get through some of the things you touched base on. And I'll just revisit a few of them. Grew up in a very unique situation, illegitimate child, biracial, grew up in a racist white family, disconnected.
That's a whole episode.
Disconnected from my Black family that was in the South. Parents both ended up addicted to drugs during the crack era. From there, I am also a survivor of abuse, sexual abuse. Worked through that. Had a brain tumor.
Jeez.
See?
Cancer.
Yeah.
And just a plethora of operations, 13 to date.
Wow.
Lots of missing organs.
Wow.
As a byproduct of the illnesses that I've had. Nonetheless, I have learned through all of that I am resilient. I am capable. I am able. And ultimately, the reason this is really my heart is because I recognize that nobody was coming to save me. My mom, I wanted her to, but she couldn't.
Yeah.
My dad, I wanted him to. He couldn't. Religion couldn't. So all of the things that we become reliant on, they weren't changing. They weren't sufficient. They became tools. They became resources for me. But the reality was one day I had to look in the mirror and say to myself that you are the one.
Sis.
You're the one.
Sis.
You're the one, sis. Yeah. You're the one that's gonna change the trajectory of your life. And I, in that moment, recognized that what I had experienced was not who I was as a person. And I learned how to separate what I'd been through, right? And use that as my superpower to help other women. And I know this may sound super crazy, but I recognize now in hindsight that everything that I went through, and a lot of it was really dark. I was suicidal at one point. That probably should have been my crazy story. But you know, going through all these dark spaces, I recognized that I had what I needed all along, and it was in me. And as women, we really struggle with recognizing that we're already fully equipped. No matter what life throws at us, I don't care. Losing a baby, divorce, illness, mental, physical, emotional issues, we are fully equipped. We come here fully equipped. And I think the beautiful thing about life is that we go on this journey to be able to extract what we already hold within.
Right on. Wow.
That's it. Show's over.
I know. And thank you. This has been Several Lifetimes podcast.
Yes, thank you.
Jeez.
I mean, amazing. Fun fact, again, 4 out of 5 things she just listed, I've experienced myself. And I thought I was the only one, right?
Yeah.
And that is, I think, this podcast. Yes, it's me and it's going to be funny and there's going to be stories. But it is, everybody has experienced this. Sorry, I'm thinking. Everybody's lived several lifetimes. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So speaking of several lifetimes, I'm Sarah Tiffany. This is the Several Lifetimes podcast. This is episode 1. We're calling Long Story Short. And I'm here with Tenile and Ryannicole. Thank you. Again, you're here. You're surviving these. Right. Hopefully journey. Something you've picked up, something's relatable. And we were just talking about your book.
Yeah.
Literally, you have, in the last 3 days, have texted me, you're the one, sis.
Yeah.
And even, I didn't even want to hear it, right? So I'm like, I don't want to be the one. I want them to tell me I'm the one. You don't tell me I'm the one. I want someone else to tell me I'm the one. And that's not even the point of it, right?
Right.
Because I am the one.
Right.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Anything else? Like what's next with this? I know it's just coming out, right? But what else do you see?
Yeah. So really my goal at this point is just to really get this into the hands of women. It's not about like, oh, I want to make a sale. Right. I promise you, I believe that if any reader picks this up and is committed to the process and is willing to do the work, they can really transform their entire life.
Yeah.
I promise you, I have walked this thing out.
Yeah.
I have been in the darkest of places. I have had the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. And I have come across so many women just today,
Come on.
2 women getting my nails done, and 2 women are just like, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like,
here you go.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you need to know, like, you made an amazing comment when you said, I thought I was the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand now why it is so challenging for women to come together. We are like almost programmed to be competitive against one another. Automatically, from the youngest of ages, we are comparing ourselves. Her hair's pretty. Okay, mine has to be prettier. Her lipstick is popping. Mine's got to be brighter. You know, she's a little thinner. I got to lose some weight. Like, we are constantly comparing instead of collaborating. And so we spend all this effort, energy, time on trying to compare and measure up to something we'll never be.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So why would I try to be you?
Right.
I will never be Sarah Tiffany. All I can be is the most authentic, bomb-ass version of Tenile that I can ever hope to be, right? Yeah. And if I shift the focus from comparing or measuring up to you or trying to meet somebody else's standard, then I recognize that's my superpower, because now I know who I am, and you can't tell me who I am, and you can't tell me, and surely no man is going to tell me who I am, because you don't get that power. Right? And the reason I keep saying you're the one, sis, is because we are always looking for something outside of us to validate us.
Right.
He wants me. He doesn't want me. What's wrong with me if he doesn't want me? What's wrong with him?
Yeah.
Right? But automatically we are like, it's me. I'm damaged. I'm no good. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not thin enough. Says who? According to whose standard? When you know who you are, you want to have magnetism. Ask any man. Know who you are and own it.
Yeah.
And they
know who you are and own it.
It's true.
When you show up and you're like, do you want me? Am I good enough yet? Is it enough for you?
Right.
Like, girl, you're a treasure. You're a treasure.
Period.
Each and every one of us, period. There is no, I don't care. I was abused. I was mistreated. I have been divorced. I have made a ton of mistakes, but I am still a treasure.
Yeah.
And I have to know that. That's not ego.
Yeah. No.
That's not being big-headed or prideful. It's knowing that I have something of value to offer the world. And if you don't see it, that's your loss.
You're fearfully and wonderfully made. Period.
Period.
Yeah.
With the exclamation point.
Come on.
that.
Hello. I think it was
And
an exclamation.
let's go to church.
Yeah.
Let's go to
Period.
church right now. Yes.
Right.
Period. Yeah. So the goal really, Sarah, is just to get this into the hands of women, because I think far too often we're trying all these different things and we're still running in circles.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that this is going to fix your entire life, but what I'm saying is you are able to go directly to what your need might be without having to flip through 50 pages to get to the one sentence that resonates with you. Right. And it's active.
Yeah.
It's the thing that you can go to, like, oh, I'm tripping right now. I have low self-esteem. Let's go in here and let's look and see what it says. You're affirming, you're journaling, you're sitting with it. Right. And then I even give you some action steps. What do? I feel like crap right now. I feel low. I feel ugly. I feel overweight. What do I do? Right. And you have these steps that can empower you, because the only person that can change you is you.
Right. Sis.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
Sis, you the
So
one.
good.
Ain't no white horse and no prince coming. You know, he can add. Like, the thing I think a lot of people miss is that a long time ago, I stopped saying this is my better half, because I'm a whole ass woman.
Right. That's right.
I'm full. I'm 100% Tenile, right?
Chill.
This is my husband. This is my love, whatever. He's not my better half.
He's my choice.
I'm a whole person.
Yeah.
So we are 2 whole people that have chosen each other to build a life with one another,
Right.
Yep.
right?
Right.
But just thinking about the things that we say,
Right.
out the gate, I'm telling you, oh, I'm half a person without him. No, I'm
No.
a whole ass person.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And I learned this by working this.
Okay.
And that's what I want women to see.
Yeah.
It's not stellar. You're not going to open and go, oh my gosh, right? The penmanship is amazing. No, you're going to go, all right, Tenile, I'm in a jam. And sis, thanks. Because you know what? This hit home for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what this book is.
Right
I
on.
don't care if I sell 5 copies. If 5 lives are changed, I feel like I've served my purpose.
Wow.
Yeah. And she's real. She's real.
Yeah.
This is
No,
real.
obviously. Yeah, you feel it. Yeah.
This is yours too.
Yes, that's mine.
Mhm.
Give it.
Yes. It's so
Thank
good.
you.
But
But you have to sign it first.
I will.
yeah.
I will.
We need it.
And I'm not putting it on eBay.
Don't do it.
Wow. Times get tough.
right.
Right,
I'll
right,
have
right.
it, but it'll be filled out and
Right.
all
Or
that.
I'll license this podcast off. I mean, there's always
There you
going to
go.
be a
There's
way.
options.
Always a
Yeah.
way. So amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. And not just words or
Yeah.
talk. Like I have literally been experiencing it
Mhm.
the last few days. And what's great is I'm going to watch this episode in like 6 months and be like, Sarah, why you?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You didn't even
Yeah.
know. You didn't
Yeah.
even know.
Yeah.
But we know, right?
Yeah, you got to be willing to do the work, sis. We can sit here and cry and be victims all day long, but until we're ready to go, okay, I'm putting on my big girl panties and I'm going to do the work necessary to get me out of this space, this mindset, I'm going to continually stay stuck, right?
Right.
You stay stuck.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody wants to complain. Nobody wants to do the work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The
Yeah.
work is hard. That's
It is.
And I think even like for someone like me who,
Mhm.
you know, we laugh and we joke and I say I like to get through things that way. When I'm by myself, I can easily like just gloss over everything and be the victim. Like, Sarah, you've had
Sure.
cancer 3 times.
Sure.
He doesn't understand that you have had 87 hormones and 20, you know. But already what I've looked through in the book is that I'm going to have to like say, it's not about him.
No.
Never. Never.
No.
No.
Never.
Because the next person, the way I talk with my children
Yeah.
or the people I work with,
The
it's not
next
even my
circumstance,
life.
the
It's
next thing, whatever. Yeah.
right. It's me.
Yeah.
It's me.
Always.
Yeah.
So
Always. I was on my way here
yeah.
and I was late and I was so upset about being late. We talked about this,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
But my day started with making a choice that I knew wasn't in my best interest.
Mhm.
My day started that way.
Yeah.
You know, I rode with somebody else to a meeting and I knew from the onset, and this is minor, right? But it's an example of accountability.
Yeah.
And I was like grinding my teeth as we were running late and, you know, he was taking his time and the whole thing. And I was like, you know what? That's on you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's on you. Like you had an option, you had a choice, and you chose an easier path. And now it's landed you in a place that is unfavorable for you.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? There's practicing accountability in all areas of your life.
Yeah.
And that one, I had to own that. I flubbed on that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think that's my hardest. That is where I struggle. A
Mhm.
lot of it is, you know, and see, I'm already going to make an excuse. It's the way I was raised. If you met some of my family, you would be like, wow.
Yeah.
No, but I'm 44 years old.
Right.
And I have 2 little humans who are looking at me.
Sure.
So, yeah. the self accountability.
Yeah.
I think that I'm going to give one more shout out to 510, the Hope class, because
Yes.
Yeah.
that is one of the biggest takeaways
Sure.
is like radical responsibility.
Yeah.
That shit is hard,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
we don't have to let our history be our legacy.
Mm.
Right? That's
Good
the
or
thing.
bad. Good
Good or
bad.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't. We
Yeah.
have the power to change it. We
Yeah.
are creating. I used to say all the time, Sarah, I'm out here finding myself. What are you doing? I'm finding myself.
Look
No, you know where I've transitioned to and where I hope every woman can get is I'm creating who I
Come
want to
on.
be and I'm creating the life that I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to find anything.
Not a
Those
thing.
former versions of myself, I'm grateful to her. She did the best she could
Yep.
with what she had and
Yep.
what she knew, right?
Yep.
I'm not ashamed of the former versions of myself. I'm
Right.
not ashamed of anything I've done up to this point because it
Yeah.
all was part of my evolution. But we have the power to create. We are creators,
Period.
you know? Nothing else in this world can bring life into the world. We are naturally we are life. We bring life into the world and not just babies. I'm not just talking about
Yeah.
late, you know,
Right.
lay it low and spread it wide. I'm saying,
but let's lay it
That's
low and
fun.
spread it wide.
That's also fun.
I need that in my life.
So
We're gonna get to
hey,
the other.
it's fun,
Yeah,
but I'm
it is.
saying,
No,
let's
but
not
that is
disparage that. But yes,
we birth a lot, you know. I
We
mean,
do.
even looking across the table at Ryannicole, she's like, I'm the 4 A's. Sis, own that.
Oh, I do.
You're an athlete. You're
Yeah.
an athlete. You're an actress. You're this. You're that. It's like, yes, you're all that.
Yeah.
And I celebrate that because
Yeah.
that is inspirational.
Right
that
on.
you can sit with confidence in your space and know who you are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that rubs off on Sarah and that rubs off on me.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, I'm me.
Yeah.
Like she's bomb,
Yeah.
but I'm not trying to be you.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
right,
I'm trying to be me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yep.
so that is the beautiful thing about us coming together is we can see the greatness in each other and
Right.
celebrate it and lift it up.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
I've always loved women.
Mhm.
And wanted to be around strong and inspiring and real. I never understood why some women don't, right?
Right.
I've always wanted that. I've seeked it out, you know. And
Yeah.
so again, just so great that you guys are here.
So glad to be here.
Yeah.
I want to shift to you.
Okay.
This is Several Lifetimes, the podcast. I'm Sarah Tiffany.
Mhm.
We just heard from Tenile. She basically took over the show and preached.
That's the church. Yep.
But what are we?
Donating to her
I'm
church.
me. I can never be
Right.
Tenile. So
Right.
I'm so happy that this is how you're showing up. 'Cause
Yeah.
I love it. So Ryannicole,
Yes.
you have some amazing things happening.
Thank you.
Yeah, some we can't talk about.
Yeah. Well,
Top secret. We need contract signing maybe and stuff. But tell us a little bit about what you have going on.
yeah, I've got a lot of things going on. So I told you multi-hyphenate creative. And every one of those hyphens is occupied. There are many irons in the fire. And they're all heating up. And that's the challenging part right now.
Yeah.
I'm actually also in the Hope class. I just joined.
Welcome,
Yeah.
Are you going to come live? Are you
I'm
gonna
coming
come live?
next week.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, y'all got to pay us because we are.
No, we're coming for you. Okay. All I want is him to come on this show. That would be.
That would be epic.
It
And I
would.
think it's necessary.
Yeah.
But I say that to say I am needing to build infrastructure around the many different things that I've done. I've been hustling my entire career.
Yep.
I went to school, and I'll give you a quick backstory, and then I'll move into what is happening now. I went to school for law. I got out of school and realized that I did not want to do that. Pivoted into being an executive director of a creative organization. Didn't want to do that because really what I wanted to do was be a creative.
Right.
So I kept like edging closer and closer to what I wanted. And finally, I just bit the bullet, made a really tough decision at the height of the recession to shutter the organization and to move forward into what I wanted to do. And at that point, put many irons in the fire that have heated up, are continually heating up and building upon themselves. One of them is a television show that I am writing and creating. One of them is a musical that I am co-writing, co-producing. That show is called, I can talk about that show. That show is called Co-Founders. It has its world premiere next year at the American Conservatory Theater. It is going from the Bay to Broadway. We are on a certain path
The
to
Bay
Broadway.
to Broadway.
Yes,
Love it.
yes. We're a group of wordsmiths, so I can't take full credit for that one either. I mean, I'm raising my children. I am doing my best to be a good partner to my husband. He's a great anchor. I'm running around constantly. I've got many different hustles. I'm due for an album, and Jahi would kill me for being in this space and not being here to record music. He told me, I'm grateful. I'm being heralded as one of the best MCs in this region. And the secret is I don't have an album. I've never had an album. But I I rap. I do
She more
ciphers.
than raps.
Gifted.
Like
Yeah.
Thank you.
Beyond.
Thank you. So I'm overdue.
She's gonna do a opening for this show, maybe.
Several. No. But I'm overdue for an album that I intend to put out before February of next year. So those are three major irons that are in the fire.
Yeah.
There are so many other smaller ones that you'll see that I'll continue to be doing. But I'm grateful to be able to be an artist.
Yeah.
I'm doing the impossible. People are like, well, you can't I had a coach who used to say, you can't do it all.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it all. You can't do everything well. And I took that as a personal challenge. And I realized you can do everything well. You just have to scaffold it.
Sure.
And so, you know, I've been leveraging success after success after success to get to better and better and better. And, you know, I really am at the precipice of my next realization of greatness, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
And as I continue to rise, you know, I lift as I climb. And so I'm looking forward to bringing people onto my team to support my trajectory, but also to support theirs.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about, you know, holding it down for the Bay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really a proponent of the notion that fantastic things can come out of the Bay, and we don't have to leave for that to happen. But I also understand the responsibility of building the infrastructure in order for that to happen, and in order for it to be sustainable for other people to replicate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I want to say before we wrap up, we'll have a few final thoughts, but Several Lifetimes is in our home right now for the first 12 episodes, is Kingmakers of Oakland.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. We have staff, they're fully producing right now. Baba Chris, I met him, like you said, it's 1 degree.
Right.
We met, and then we met, and then he's Grace's neighbor, and then so just shout out to Kingmakers of Oakland.
Kingmakers.
Doing amazing things in the community. They're 10 toes down.
For sure.
And again, like Chris and his wife, they could live anywhere. They choose to live here, be homeowners, raise their children. They've raised amazing young men.
Yeah.
And so thank you, Kingmakers.
Yeah.
And so like I wanted to keep the logo on.
I'm glad you did that.
Yeah, because this is really amazing. So thank you. Let's have a few final thoughts. Okay. I want to really quickly preview some of the other episodes again. I'm really excited. I hope by the time you all watch this that this did happen, but I'm planning on flying to LA to meet with one of my favorite artists. I won't say the name just yet, but I'm really excited. I have a love for music. I've had to find, I am not a musician. I am probably tone deaf. I can dance though.
You sing in the show?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. But I found who I am as a creative. Like I support creatives. I definitely am a creative person, and music's really important. So we'll have a whole episode, and I'm from the Bay on the toes of the hyphy movement. Like I helped brand hyphy juice, right? Shout out to Kaz. He'll be in the team. Clyde,
fun.
they'll be here.
I'm on their project a long time ago. That's so crazy. Yeah. Anyhow, you just took me back. But
So the team will be here.
Nice.
And I'm excited for that. We'll have another episode where I'm gonna have my daughter here. So she raised me, I raised her. Right. I'm really excited about that. I'm gonna have a family episode. Some big political figures I'm gonna have here, and we're gonna talk shit. And so thank you. This is what I'm calling kind of the low budget, although we're in a full-blown studio.
And we're high value.
Yeah, thank you.
That's right. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
But I do hope that as people watch, they see the evolution, because this is now a part of my story, right?
Yeah.
And a part of yours.
Yeah.
So I want to close out, maybe a final word,
For sure.
and then really quickly, I want to highlight a few things that you can find in the episode. So one is, I've been a toxic person in relationships, and every ex is like, hell yes. Okay, speak, Sarah. I have done some funny ass shit, right? In the name of love. And so, again, like speaking to laughing as you heal, we're gonna have a almost like SNL type, news skit called The Toxicity Report.
Nice.
And so I'm hiring like an anchor. We're gonna have someone who is actually researching and or maybe a toxic recovery person.
That'd be great.
So look out for that. That's pure comedy. It's gonna be pretty funny. We might have to have you on to like talk us through some of the behavior.
You're like, okay, go to page 43.
Yeah,
right.
I'm gonna need you to write. So Sarah, you
out.
were in the bushes. Yeah, I was. After he got the restraining.
Yeah.
So it said 100 feet, and I was 101.
Right.
So okay, so that's good. And then another kind of segment that you can find throughout these series is like Sarah's favorite things. And so people who know me know that like I like things. I'm like a thingy person. And part of my love language is giving gifts.
Right.
So grateful.
Genuinely, I don't know, maybe I'm a narcissist. I love giving people gifts. And so thanks to Forever 21 and Bath and Body Works. Right now, there's a few things that I really love. But one of the things I want is this is really beautiful.
Oh, I love.
And so I have an artist who's going to be creating these. And we'll have them. A lot of these are prototypes. But it's just it's a really beautiful, like high quality bookmark, and it says thank you for being a part of my story.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And so see for that. So
Let's go, Ryan. Get to reading, girl.
and writing.
Right.
So look out for that. I think on every episode I'm going to, I'm lactose intolerant, so these are some of the best things at Trader Joe's.
Oh, nice.
Oh, chocolate
bars.
You can't
Let's
tell.
go.
Come
My
on.
kids are probably going to ravage
mine
you.
Yeah, they
too,
will.
because
Let's see.
they're lactose
So
intolerant.
I love black Post-it notes.
Ooh, cute. So we have white
And
pens.
then white pens.
Yes.
And one last thing, Forever 21. So, I'm 44, Forever 21 times 2.5. But they have really evolved. And so these are highlighters that I think work for all different skin tones.
Love
So
it.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
pretty.
And there's some little lotions from Bath and Body Works.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
And
you.
the bags hopefully will be themed with who the guests are. So,
Sure.
Okay.
No, thank you
And
so
then
much.
one
These are
final
classic.
thing. Right now, our logo our picture frame is hanging and it's blank. So after the show, I'm going to have the ladies sign it.
All right.
And at the end of the 12 seasons, it'll be everybody who, came on the show. And if I got to sell that in 10 years, I will. I might. Everything.
You're like, there's Tenile's name right there.
Exactly. Right there. She's
And
famous.
Ryan, she's on tour right now.
Yes.
Yeah. 7th album.
There we go. Come
There
on.
we go.
So yeah, I think that the show is just going to show like the evolution of even me as
It
a
will.
human, and we'll see what other shenanigans we get into. Thank you.
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Thank you for
This is
having
number
us.
1. I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
congratulations.
I don't know.
Final word?
Yeah,
Final
piece
words.
of advice, final
Yeah.
words.
Well,
Come on, good doctor.
a good doctor.
Good doctor.
First, my word would be to you before I even speak to your listeners is just keep following the heart. Keep following the things that are drawing you. Keep following the things that are exciting you and putting a smile on your face.
So
I think,
hiding in bushes. And,
yeah, we're out of the bushes.
Okay.
We are out of the darkness into the marvelous light at this
We're
point.
out of the
Okay.
dark,
Right.
we're out of the-
rolling past his house at 3 a.m.
Yeah, no, just understanding that you have an abundance of opportunity in front of you, and this could really be an amazing platform because you're an amazing person, right? And you just have to lean into that. And so that's part A. Part B, to the audience would just be, you have everything that you need. You have everything that you need. No matter what you're going through, no matter what you're faced with, where you find yourself, you are fully equipped, fully capable. You have climbed mountains before. You have made your way through the valley, and nobody is coming to save you. So it's time for you to start tapping into the resources you already have within. And know that you are already enough, even though you're a work in progress. You are already worthy and you are fully valuable, right? And you have to own that, and create the life you want by taking accountability and being willing to do the work. And last but not least, I want to encourage you guys, if you are a woman, to please go purchase this book. You're the One, Sis, on Amazon. I don't have a copy.
We'll put a link in. What I'm going to do is make a
Ryan is
commitment.
holding it.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a commitment to gift 10 to a few ladies. So we'll
Wonderful.
figure that
Thank
out.
you.
Because it is really, really amazing.
Yeah. And I want feedback. I really want people to like, honestly, get in there, do the work, and go on Amazon or find me on Instagram and let me know how it has impacted your life. That's the goal of the work, right?
Yep. You got to make your page non-private.
I love how
I do. I'm going to.
You got to just open it up because we couldn't share the thing.
Yeah, I gotta open it up. But you know, I still got some of them crazies
exactly.
that be swiping through. But yeah, it's all good. But yeah, we're gonna do that too. But yeah, for sure, I want feedback. I want to know.
I have to tell people first. I just have to do this. I'm sorry I have to interject, but you know, when we hear the word book, some of us go running. Yeah. Right. Because we're like, oh, so many words. And it's I don't have the time or whatever. I just want you to know that this is a book for the digital generation.
Yeah.
It has got like memeable quotes in it. Yeah. It's got pages for you to journal.
Yeah.
It's not full pages filled up with text.
No.
You know, or frivolous language or whatever. It is accessible. So just my at a glance review of it, I can say that it's colorful. Very pretty colors.
It is.
Yeah. So it is eye candy. And I mean, you know,
77 pages. You can work through it. It's a 10-week journey.
Yes, you can.
There you go. That we might have to do it
10-week
over
journey. I like that.
It's a 10-week journey. That's what it is.
Boom.
Yeah.
Ryan, final words.
Yeah, you know, I think one of the running themes of this show is resilience. I think, you know, as I listen to you, Tenile, as I listen to you, Sarah, as we talk about Oakland, right? We talk about this spirit of resilience, this phoenix, this not being knocked down, you know, and staying down. And I just want to encourage people to continue to lean into that. And I really want to help elevate the fact that I see that in you as well. You know, you talk about all these things and you just kind of glossed over the battles that you've undergone and that you've obviously won. Okay, so I just want to name that you got a lot of W's in your on your card, and so I want to encourage you to recognize and own that there is big resilience there, and that is the common thread that sits at this table today, and probably the common thread that will show up for this podcast.
I think so too.
Yeah, and I just thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Same. Yeah. We're going to come back in 6, I think maybe like 6 episodes. Maybe we'll have worked the book.
Yeah.
And I would be so excited if you all are still with us. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, good job.
Great job.
Yeah,
wonderful.
Like it's
wonderful job.
Yep. Sweat dripping down my boob.
I know. And somebody called me like, right? My butt was buzzing.